Okay everyone, welcome back to the channel for another video on Gran Turismo 7. I'm back with a track guide for this week's Daily Race C at Kyoto, driving in the Group 3 car. So hopefully this guide will help you out. If you do like these guides, if they help you out, feel free to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and let me know in the comment section if it's managed to improve your lap time. So managed to jump on for a little 30 minutes and managed to improve my time a little bit and got myself into the 1 minute 30.9s, I think it is. So managed to break that 1 minute 31 barrier. This track is particularly weak for me. It's not very good. I'm not really able to find the ultimate pace here. So I was reasonably happy to get a 30.9 in all honesty. So yeah, hopefully this guide will help you out. Like I say, let me know in the comment section. We'll see if we can give you some tips for this track. There is a couple of corners that you can really see you can take a lot of track out, as you just saw on that replay camera. I actually messed that corner up and thought I was going to get a penalty. However, there was no penalty awarded, so managed to keep the lap flowing. So yeah, let's go into the cat track guide. Starting your lap from the final corner, make sure you get a wide entry into your start of the lap to make sure you're getting as much speed down this straight as possible. So, you know, it might only gain you a thousandth of a second or something like that or whatever, but it's important. Every little bit helps. So into turn one, we're looking for the 50 board on our right hand side. You're going to approach it there. Now I'm going to brake just past that, and you're going to get your right hand tire to use the full width of the track. You see up onto the curb, and just past the 50 board, our braking inputs are going in here. So you're going to see the line that we're taking. We're chasing P1 in the world's ghost. You see onto that little bit of, as we're trail braking in score, you're going to try and get your left hand tire to skim the blue bit of Astro on the left hand side. You see P1 manages to do it, and then get your tire, the left hand tires, to get onto the curb. It's quite important. If you can get that done right, you can actually get the car to rotate while you're getting on the throttle. Just be careful not to do it too much because you can spin the car, but if you get it right, you can gain a lot of time by doing that. Now through here, it's all about going flat out, no braking. It's just completely flat out. Just make sure that you use the curbs and try and be as smooth as possible. So using the curbs all the way through these corners, up into 6th gear early there to get as much momentum up this hill as possible. And now into this next really fast left-hand corner. We're going to use that 50 board on the right-hand side as a reference to where we're going to start putting our braking inputs in there. So just as we're going past the 50 board, braking inputs in, and now this big corner is all about carrying as much speed as you can. Down to 5th gear, we're not going to go down to 4th, and we're going to try and hold the left-hand curb as much as we can. So you're going to see left-hand tire almost touching the curb on the left-hand side. You see just all the way through the corner. Try and keep your left-hand tire in the blue bit of Astro if possible, then touching the curb on the exit and powering your way out the exit in 5th gear. See, if you stay in 5th gear, you get much better exit speed. Now we're going to work our way down the hill and into the next braking zone, which I brake in the middle of the 150 and the 100 board that you can see there. Braking earlier tends to help. Now I actually make a little bit of a mistake here, staying in 4th gear. Don't go into 3rd. If you stay in 4th gear, you can carry a bit more momentum through the corner. So I make a little error. I don't turn in early enough. You can see P1's in the world manages to take a lot of that corner. You can see left-hand tire over the grass. Now I don't. I miss the apex a little bit there onto the curb, and that compromises ourselves all the way through here. However, we managed to go straight over this and just keep a little bit of left-hand tire on the tarmac, and again on the exit here, just a little bit of tire on the tarmac, and it doesn't give you a penalty. So as long as you're keeping your tires from fully going on the grass, you should avoid a penalty on that chicane, and you can actually carry a lot of speed. You see, I actually managed somehow to carry quite a decent amount of speed through that corner. Now the next braking zone, we're using the end of the letters on the track there. We're braking just before the end of that. So you see braking inputs going in just before we get to the end, and we're going to make sure we use the full width of the track here, going all the way to the right hand side, letting the car swing in. You can see P1 in the world actually rotates in a little bit later than I do, so he takes a little bit of a wider line. That's going to enable him to get on the throttle a little bit early. You can see my throttle inputs going in just as we're touching the curb on the left. And now we're going to be, because we took that slightly tighter line, we're going to be compromised on the exit slightly. So I'm going to have to upshift to 3rd gear a little bit early. You see it here. He manages to get a little bit better exit, gains a 10th or 2 there. And now we're working our way into this quite tricky little chicane. So for this corner, you're going to try and use that little bit of grey tarmac on the right hand side as you're approaching, and get on the brakes just before your right hand tyre goes onto the blue Astro. You see here, just before I'm going on that blue Astro, onto the brakes, and you're not going to be aggressive on the brakes. It's only a bit of braking input going in, and then into 3rd gear, and you're really going to attack this apex. You can get your left hand tyre onto this curb, use some of the grey tarmac, and get on the throttle as early as you can. It's so important to be on the throttle early for that corner to carry the momentum into the final corner, which again, we're using that 50 board on the left hand side as a braking reference. You see the braking inputs going in now, and again, take quite a wide line. You see P1 taking quite a wide line. Again, I'm taking a little bit more of an aggressive approach into the corner, a little bit tighter line, and then on the throttle nice and early, and then upshift to third gear as you're about midway on the revs, and then power your way all the way to the finishing line. And that lap is a 1:30.9. It's nowhere near the top time in the world, but I think we're currently in the top 40. So it's good enough for me at a track that I'm not particularly good at. So reasonably happy with that. Hopefully it will help you out. Let's watch this lap now from the chase camera, and you'll really see what I'm talking about with trying to get that left-hand tyre onto. If you can get it onto that blue bit of Astro, like the blue bit of tarmac, sorry, really helps rotate the car in, and use the curbs to help the car rotate through the corners as well. Through here, completely flat out, just using the curbs, trying to be as smooth with your input. So important to be smooth with your inputs there. You can lose a tenth to 2 tenths just by poor inputs on your steering wheel through that sector. Now, using that 50, throwing the car in again, using that blue bit of tarmac on the left. You really want to try and keep it as close to this apex as possible. Managed to hook that up quite nicely. However, going through this sector, I did notice I was actually a tenth down on my optimal time through there. We'd been a tenth faster, but again through here, we probably lost a tenth or so through here because we didn't get that first initial part of the corner. But what we did, we managed to really get quite lucky on the track limits going through the next 2 parts. So yeah, through there you can really take a lot off the corner. You can gain so much time in that chicane if you get it right. There's probably another tenth or 2 for me to gain there. And then here, that little shift there cost me maybe half a tenth to a tenth, just having to shift up a little bit early where I turned in a little bit too early. But again through here, you see it attacking these curbs, onto the curb on the left, throttle on the exit, and actually carrying quite good speed there. We used the full width for the track, didn't go onto the grass. That's important because you lose a lot of time if you just skim the grass on the right side. And then powering out that final corner, making sure you're shifting this car around about 85%, 90% of its revs. You can see I'm never ever revving it fully on that rev range. That's really important with the Supra. Anyway, hope that guide helped you out. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. We'll be back with more live streams and videos in the future. Thanks again for watching, everyone.